Here are some highlights of this program.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to Brainstorm exclusive interview.
Our education should be corrected, adapted, and updated.
Live better, they can send their children to school because they can interact with their authorities.
Mechanics, electricity, computer science, innovation,
And we know that it's a brainstorm.
Yourself, after watching this interesting program, notice the final statement made by our notable guest, a brand new one.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Brainstorm Broadcast. Globalization involves so many aspects and many domains. Language is also included, especially English as international language. We're going to, during this talk show, discuss the theme, English and globalization. There are some things we're going to delve into the matter and clearly see the link between globalization and English, as we all speak English as international language. Join me now on this set is Chris Dieka. Chris Dieka is an IT and a teacher of English as international language. Hello, sir, and welcome to this program.
Hello, Mr. Gitombi.
My pleasure to welcome you for the very first time to discuss this issue, English and globalization.
Yeah, the pleasure is shared. I'm very happy to be on your platform.
All right, let's get it started. All right. As far as globalization is concerned, what does the concept imply in terms of communication, globalization?
Okay, let me start by defining the word globalization. So globalization, it's a process by which, a globe is interconnected or interdependent by, multiple dimensions such as economy, education, and so forth.
All right.
And
all right. It's good that many people sometimes focus when they deal with globalization. According to their understanding, they have many domains as social, politics, and environment, and so forth. Yeah. But language is included as well. You know that language also, as a means of communication, is included in globalization. That's why we're going to talk about English now. What role does English play as a language in globalization?
Yeah, in terms of globalization, the English is like a bridge language. Without English, we cannot deal with globalization. So it's a kind of a lingua franca in globalization. So it helps in many things, in technology, in international business, and a lot of things I can say.
Okay, English is important, as we all know, yeah. And is even international language. People in business, in teaching or education, they need English as well. This video highlights the fact that if we go back in time about English, how does it work and how people could interact using it as part of globalization. Please let's take a look at this and be back.
If you had a time machine, how far back could you go and still understand English? In the 19th and 18th centuries, you'd probably still be okay. This is from the book Robinson Crusoe in 1719.
I, poor miserable Robinson Crusoe, came on shore on this dismal, unfortunate island, which I called the Island of Despair.
That's fairly easy to understand, but you might struggle with slang like battyfang and kikarapoo. And now, your birthday suit actually is a suit that you wear on your birthday. The 1600s is the time of Shakespeare.
Thy natural magic and dire property, unwholesome life, usurp immediately.
Harder to follow, but not everyone speaks like that. You would hear plenty of words you didn't understand, though. The bigger problem for you now is the pronunciation. The sound of the vowels has changed, and the accent is becoming much harder to understand. For example, T is pronounced te, and gone is pronounced gone. In the 1500s, people essentially speak like the Bible.
Now therefore, thus saith the Lord, Thou shalt not come down from that bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt surely die.
There are also hundreds of words that didn't mean a thing to you. Before about 1400, you'd hear Middle English, and you would hardly understand anything, written or spoken.
Juan dat April with his sure sorter, the drocht of March had perset to the rotor, and barred every lane and switchly core of which were to engender his the floor.
If you went all the way back to 1000 AD, you'd hear Old English.
Fader ure, thuthe ton heavenum, sie thin nama je hargud, tobe kume thin riche, je wurde thin willo, on earthon swa on heavenum.
Good luck explaining that you need 1.21 gigawatts to get home.
All right. Now, can English in the modern world be viewed as a science or a language?
So, to me, I can say that English can't be viewed as a science because it's a tool of communication. It's a language as any other languages, you know, but it's used in science. It's used to science, and it's also studied scientifically. For example, in fields like psycholinguistics, computational linguistics, you see, in that way it's studied scientifically, but it's not a science.
It's not a science, but is it taught as a science? It means that since English is not a science, can we say that it is a scholar language? A scholar language means that it can be taught, it can be analyzed, it can be examined, and it can also be used just to convey message, especially education in English.
Yeah, in that way, English is used as a tool of communication. Yeah, it's a kind of a bridge language to what you want to do. But it's not science, because when you talk about science, we see, for example, you have to come up with explanations of some phenomena, you see. So a language is not what we do with a language. A language is only used to communicate with others in that way. So English is not, it can't be viewed as a science.
Now, let's now move to another aspect about this subject. How does English impact today global business?
So in global business, for example, let's talk about when you want to learn many things in global business. So you need English. Most of cutting-edge books are written in English. If you need some advancement in business, you need to learn English. So through English, we go forward.
So English will go forward.
Yeah.
But now let's just look at the design of many products. Because in a global business, you have product exchange. On the market, you have computers, you have TV sets, you have a radio, and any other product that is designed abroad and also exported somewhere else. Now you want to get to know the function of the product. You want to know the function of the design. What is the role of English then?
The technical support always operates in English. So you can buy any device that you will need to buy. When you buy them, you will see the technical support is already in English. So you need to know English. That means English is like a go pass to any advancement.
All right. Lack of knowledge in English can be an obstacle to global business?
I can say yes, because how will you deal with the global network if you don't know English? So you need to, if you want to go ahead, you need to know English. English will help you to have a global access.
A global access. But now let's come back to you as an IT. You deal with computer science, with some computer science tools. You may have to do with software tools and so forth. So you think English is vitally important in your domain as well? If so, why?
Yeah, English is really important while talking about computer science. You know why? Because programming, when we talk about programming languages, are always in English. When you're programming, those programming know it. All the programming language is in English. All the codes you'll be typing are in English. And most of rich resources, I'm talking about books, are always in English. If you want to understand some other things very well, you will learn them from English. In English, they come up to explain complex things in a precise way. You see, but in French, it's not in that way. In French, when you write a lot of things you don't understand, you have to need to be looking up into your dictionary to understand those things. But in English, that's so they easy things in English.
Yeah, a friend of mine told me it deals with programming and computer science. So you want to say no, the key thing is the knowledge of English. If you know English well, this will facilitate things in the acquisition of some of the notions in computer science. Is that true as an IT? Can you confirm these statements?
Yeah, I can say having the knowledge of English and knowing English better are two things different. If you know if you have the knowledge of English, you can be a good programmer. But if if you can speak English correctly, you'll be the best programmer. Many programming languages are in English. For example, JavaScript, VB.NET are in English. So if you know English very well, you can speak it correctly, so you'll be the best programmer ever.
Yeah, I know from computer science that there's a communication, a kind of interaction. When you work with your laptop, your computer, it sends a message in English, and then you read that message, you know how to react, which button to press on, and in order to know how to make it function. So English, language, the knowledge in English is vitally important. But now, what could be the contribution of English in e-learning, electronic learning? What could be the contribution of English?
So the e-learning is what is happening nowadays. Mm-hmm. The e-learning, it's connected with English. Why have I said so? Because, as I've said it earlier, cutting edge books are always in English. If you want to have some good background, you need to go through English. So e-learning works with English because most of good books are written in English. So French books are not really, don't really go far. That's why we say English is a science book, it is a science language, but French is a political one, you see. So that's to say that if you want to be the best learner, go through English.
Yeah, go through English. Yeah. The world today has become a global village. It's an open secret. And then it means that somebody doesn't need to move abroad to learn some of the new technology, science, and so forth. You can stay home and then have some program, but in English. So it plays an important role in learning, especially electronically. English in learning booms in China. Please look at this video and we'll be back.
After 6 hours at school, Chu Xinyi comes home to another lesson, one-on-one coaching in English.
Nice to meet you.
From an American teacher sitting half a world away.
How old are you?
6. It's
Remote learning, with lessons delivered by live video over the internet, makes this sort of teaching possible and affordable.
Chinese in the future will be another international language, but for now, English is very important until now.
This is rabbit.
Parents pay $3,000 a year for twice-weekly half-hour lessons, supplemented by videos, exercises and tests.
You can teach from anywhere. They can hire teachers from wherever they want, professionals in America. Time zone doesn't matter, and I feel this is just so convenient. This is so you can just be right here on your computer anytime. You can just take a shower, you can just be ready. So I do feel this is the future.
Small snake.
Moses used to teach classes in person, but thinks this, one-to-one and focused on a screen, is better.
This sort of teaching is growing in popularity. Hundreds of thousands of Chinese children are already learning this way. 4 or 5 companies are competing to attract millions more.
Dada ABC in Shanghai is one of the relatively new startups. The company says last year Chinese investors poured more than $500 million into the business.
This year, we're seeing huge growth. We have 800 employees at the moment. We'll have 1,000 by next month.
That doesn't include the freelance Western teachers sitting at computers around the world. The company's Shanghai office is the base for salespeople, technical staff, and teaching assistants. From here, they watch over the lessons between foreign teachers and Chinese students and follow up with the children between them. One-on-one tuition with Western teachers used to be the preserve for China's richest. Technology means it's becoming increasingly mainstream. Andrew Thomas, Al Jazeera, Shanghai.
Cat.
All right, now, you think in the Democratic Republic of Congo, is there a way or is there a need for English to be adopted as a second official language? If yes, why?
Yes. Why? Because, so let me say, I've already said yes, but it's a little bit a complex a complex process. So it's a complex process because it needs coordinated effort in many fields such as economy, academia, and a lot of figures in DRC. So we have to change many things into English. You see, it takes a lot of effort that people need to afford so that we can have English as a second language. But it's something good because it will bring our country higher and it will give us access to the global integration, you see, and we'll have access in education, higher education, and Congo will have, you know, longer days to amplify its voice into the world through English.
And looking at other English-speaking African countries, you comparing with Congo, is they're far advanced. And that advancement is due to the knowledge of language, in addition to other factors. So you think, as you just mentioned, that laying out some of the advantages of English adopted as a second language, this will help the country move forward. All right, that's well said. Now, what place does English occupy in international relations?
In international relations, English is really a strategic language because, you know, African Union, when they go to those kind of conferences, it always takes place in English. And you have the United Nations conferences. So, I mean, English is their primary language. So it means that English is really important. It's connected to the most of global organizations of the world.
Reportedly speaking, Congo is most of the time absent in international summits simply because of language barrier, namely English. So what advice could you give to authorities, officials, just as far as English is concerned in globalization?
Yeah, that's something, what I would like to tell our authorities is to consider English not only a tool of communication, it's also a tool of, it's an asset. If we need advancement and global advancement, global integration, we need English. It can be adopted as our second official language. That will help even entrepreneurs. It will help professionals and students to go ahead and to have a global access or integration.
For further information about this topic, English and globalization, the question raised is, English a global language? How? Please watch it and we're back.
English, a global language. Over the centuries, English has grown from the language of a relatively small area, England, to a global idiom. According to some estimates, almost 1 billion people use English as a first or second language. This process has given birth to many varieties of English. Quite a feat. But how did that all happen? Let's see. The spread of English to other countries began with British colonialism from 1600 to 1900. That took the language to North America, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and to the countries of the British Empire, where English became mixed with the native languages. The political and economic importance of the British Empire and of the United States helped make English an international language. Today, it has become the language of technology and the main language of the Internet, of popular music and culture. English is also the main language in international business, science, diplomacy, aviation, sport, international competitions, and advertising. In short, it is the lingua franca of international communication. All of this makes people all over the world want to learn English to be able to function in the present-day global world. A French computer engineer even decided to invent a simplified form of English to make international communication easier. His language, Globish, has a simplified grammar and no idioms, and uses only 1,500 English words. He guarantees that this is enough to express just about anything. English has also contaminated other languages. This took place as the people of various countries started using English words within their own languages. This phenomenon has created many Englishes, or many mixtures of English and other languages throughout the world. Spanglish is an example. It's a fusion of Spanish and English. Chinglish, instead, is the incorporation of English words into Chinese. Then there's Italianish, a version of Italian heavily dependent on English words. Here are some examples. You might be a teenager and a millennial who likes to chattare, twittare, andare sui social, or downloadare music. One day you might have a part-time job, and at work you might have to schedulare un meeting with your manager to decide the company's mission. During the weekend, you might go jogging or camping, or you might go to the cinema to see a sequel or a B-movie. Or are you fashion and prefer to go shopping for something trendy?
Now, let's come back to the language. English, viewed not only a mere language as other languages, you just said it earlier. French is a politics for a political language. English is a business and other fields language. So you think can you really say that English is a scholar language, is a scientific language? If you confirm it, how can you lay it out for viewers to understand, because it's a language different from other languages?
You mean you want me to confirm that English is
a scholar language. A scholar language means a language which could be studied as a science because there are methodology, there are things we get to know because we could not have access to as much information as we should without the knowledge of English. So you integrate it in the science, or to say it's a scholar language which helps us do research in many domains.
English is not a scientific language. That's what I confirm. But it can be used in science to study other fields such as economy, psycholinguistics, and some other domains. We can learn them from English. It can be used in that way, but it's not a scientific language.
Yes, but now I want you to make things clear. Yeah. If you say English is not a scientific language, you have other scientific language apart from English is not a scientific language. Are there other scientific languages to say?
So what I mean by not being a scientific language, it's only a language that we can use in science. It can help us to go ahead, but it's not considered as science. That's what I mean.
Okay, now let's talk about new technology and globalization. Yeah. You think that the new technology and globalization go hand in hand. So now the place or the role of English in that field, globalization and new technology. Yeah. Can you really stress again, in order to let others know the link between new technology and English in terms of globalization?
So new technology and English are two things that intermingle. In why have I said so? Because if you talk about technology, you have to see English. Let me give you an example. If you buy something, I mean a device, because that's technology, you will need to know how to use that device. So the technical support is in English. That means English and globalization. I mean English and technology works hand in hand.
Okay. Yeah. And now, you as an English speaker, an English teacher of English, what kind of advice could you give to those watching you right now if they have trouble in learning English or to perform well in English? Because you now on this platform speaking in English, what kind of advice to give to others who find it very hard to learn English?
Yeah, what I can those watching me from their homes is to learn English. English is not only a tool of communication, but it's also a global passport. It can help you to smell a lot of opportunities once you learn it. So if you want to learn, if someone wants to learn, he can be in touch with me. I'm a teacher of English and I can help him to learn online, even in person. It's also something, English is also a language that can help people to unlock all the doors which are closed.
Yeah, all the doors which are closed, international or global passport.
Yeah, in a global aspect.
Global aspect.
Yeah.
There are many folks, Congolese living in Kinshasa City. They speak English well, and they join many English centers just for learning or English clubs. So do you have any comments as regards English club? Because many friends, many people join that platform to learn or to practice their English. Is there any comment you could make in promotion of English as a global or international language?
Yeah, practicing English is well. You can go to attend physical meetings, English meetings. That's something good. But it's when it comes that you don't have money to pay the fare to join the place or to join the flock, you will stay home. You will not have the possibility of going. That's why we have a platform that can help people. It's called the English Village. The English Village is a space that gets people together. I mean, those speaking English, they can join that platform that will help them to practice English without going anywhere. They can practice English from their homes online.
Online.
Yeah.
So both ways, either they join a center to learn English or a school, but we don't say school because it's a taught as just part of the classes for students just to learn, but sometimes they have a hard time to practice it. They better do it at a center. At the end of that training, they could be able to speak English. Is there any other possibility for someone to learn individually English at home, for instance, self-learning? Is there any possibility for that?
It's almost difficult because, you know, English, even the way people teach English locally, it's not the way it is, because English has two ways of being taught. We have ESL, which is English as a second language, and EFL, which is English as a foreign language. So here people confuse. They only teach anyhow. They don't know which method they are using. So when you learn English yourself, individually at home, which method will you use? Because you don't know those methods. But learning English as a tool of communication, that's English as a foreign language. There is a curriculum for that. So where will you get that curriculum? But if you call me, I will teach you according to that curriculum.
Okay, that's okay. The message is sent. Right. But now, what could be your perspective regarding English and globalization for DRC, or Democratic Republic of Congo?
Yeah. In the context of Congo, so English is a language that should be promoted if we need advancement. Even our local authorities should learn English. That will help them to attend international summit without speaking another language, only English. And English will also help young people who are watching from their homes to develop globally speaking. So it also will help them to boost their capacities. So it's a good language. It's not only a tool of communication, so it's also a tool of advancement.
All right. After this discussion, what could be your takeaway for those watching you right now, for you yourself? Because learning English may be a key point for us because there are many who wants to learn. Those who speak English already, they need to develop listening, speaking skills, and so forth as in terms of communication. After this discussion, what could be your takeaway?
Okay.
What could you learn and what could you just convey as a message before we conclude the program?
Yeah. So in conclusion, I can just say that English is a global language. It's a lingua franca. So I mean, it's a bridge language, and it links us directly to technology. So if you need technology, come and learn English. If you need English, it will bring you to technology. So English is the key. It's the global password to every kind of success.
Oh, thank you so much, Chris Yeka, for your contribution, insight, and some of the things you have just explained things clearly according to this topic. Appreciate it so very much.
You're welcome, Mr. Gitombi. I'm very happy to have a show on your show, Brainstorm.
English and globalization was very fantastic. This program, we discussed this issue at length. We explored the many possibilities for people to learn English, to have it adopted as a wish, as a second official language in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And this is also a global passport for those traveling, and then to keep the line of communication open with other nations in terms of summits organized elsewhere. So it's vitally important for folks who want to learn English to make any effort. The guest is available. If you want to join him, you could call on the phone number displayed on the screen. We are very pleased to have you many watch this program. Stay tuned on the second national channel, RTC2 Développement. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Here are some highlights of this program. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Brainstorm exclusive interview.
Our education should be corrected, adapted, and updated.
Live better, they can send their children to school because they can interact with their authorities.
Mechanics, electricity, computer science, innovation, yeah.
And we know that this Brainstorm. You yourself, after watching this interesting program, notice the final statement made by our notable guest, a brand new one.